And isn't it wonderful when we recognize that we need each other? Our souls can be on fire. Yeah. And when we're together in community, and we have this amazing experience of being in community together, we burst into the flame of love and into the flame of the divine presence. So I really want to share with you that is what happened for us, for those of us who had the opportunity to go on these 2 back-to-back trips to Bali earlier this year. It was an extraordinary opportunity for us to do spiritual travel together, spiritual pilgrimage. We went on a spiritual pilgrimage together and had just an amazing experience. We got to, first of all, experience the way another spirituality is talked about, the way it's understood, the way that it's expressed, the way in which people take it up. The Balinese, you saw this out this morning in the blessing. The Balinese, they make these chinangs every day. This is their little offering basket. It's woven. They put flowers in it. And they make them every day, sometimes 3 times a day. And they put them in their car dash, and they put them out on the sidewalk in front of their shop. They put them in their homes. They put them on the altars that they have in their homes and their family temples. And the act itself of making the offering is the spiritual practice. Once they put it out on the altar, whether it's the temple or out on the street, once they've put it out and they've blessed it as you receive the blessing today, it's complete. It's not about putting it out there so other people can see what a nice offering we made. It doesn't matter. It's the act of the offering itself. The Balinese people spend 60 to 70% of their day in spiritual practice. And we got to experience that, exactly what you experienced coming in here. We experienced every morning as we moved into spiritual practice, and we experienced it every time we met and every time we went into a temple. We received these malas as we were there, because this is one of the cornerstones of the Hindu practice, the chanting on the malas. And we chanted every single day the chant that you'll experience with Reverend Karen later today. There's only one life chant. We chanted it every day. We did meditation, and we did yoga every day, led by Reverend Karen. And then the second trip, I channeled Reverend Karen and led the yoga. And we had people out of this trip, out of these 2 weeks, we had people say, wow, I now have a spiritual practice like I never had before. We had people say, I'd forgotten how good yoga was. I thought I couldn't do it anymore, who are now doing yoga. We had people who had never done yoga before because they thought they couldn't, and are now in a yoga practice. So a deep spiritual practice was built. We did other things. We went on a silent meditation walk through the jungle outside of Ubud, and we were accompanied by this rainbow the entire time. It was an extraordinarily deepening experience. And let me just tell you that as we prayed together and chanted together and did this together over the course of the week, by the time we got to the end of the week, the silence that we sat in together was so palpable. It was extraordinary. We went to 3 major temples, and each time we dressed as the Balinese dress, women in long sleeves, men with the udon on their heads, wearing the sarong and the scarf. And we worshiped in the Balinese style, which meant that we were able to be in that experience. But each morning we got prepared. Not only did we have our spiritual practice, but we had a meeting in which we talked about what is this temple about? What's going on in this temple? How do we prepare for it from our spiritual tradition? And how do we come into this moment with the priest and meditate and have our opportunity to deepen? So we would sit with the priests in meditation, and then we would worship in the Balinese style. We also just really got to see that we were doing that. It's not like an ancient Balinese style that nobody does anymore. No, everybody looks like this if they're coming to worship and to pray and to meditate. And we had our wonderful presenters to help us do that. Of course, we ate, and the food was fabulous, and we ate together. We had lots of time to eat together and eat separately. We got to experience Balinese culture, most of which is around the worship of the god, the God Almighty, which has many, many, many forms and expressions. We certainly got to see the beauty of Bali as well and experience that presence in that place. We went to the water temple. We got to literally walk on water. This is a beautiful path, labyrinth-like on the water. And then this is the purification pool at the water temple. We prepared ourselves to be purified, and then we jumped in and did cannonballs and screamed like 5-year-olds and had an absolute blast. And let me tell you, that water was cold. And when we got out, we were purified. It was an extraordinary experience. Beautiful statues and greenery everywhere. We had wonderful spiritual guides. Reverend Karen and I had an opportunity to do unadulterated ministry for the entire time we were there. We had other people taking care of the logistics. We had two fabulous guides, Made and Today, and they told us about Balinese culture and Balinese people and Balinese worship and Balinese religion, and they were with us every day and really took us deep into the culture and really helped us understand what we were doing. And we got into some fabulous spiritual dialogues with them. We had a priest at every temple who shared with us what to do, and we got to see all kinds of Balinese culture. This is a Balinese food truck. And temples everywhere. They have a temple in their business. They have a temple in their home. They have the family temple in their compound. They have 3 temples in every village and 8 major temples on the island, of which we got to see 2. And then we went to a 3rd temple, not quite as major. Lots of Balinese beauty, things that you don't normally see here in the United States. The people are so gracious and so amazing. In our last temple, we got to go in where tourists simply aren't allowed. You can only go in to pray and meditate. And when and these are our guides. They took us to all these places because they've lived in Bali, and they now do only spiritual tours around the world. They gave us an amazing first-class experience. And when we were at this last temple, sea and sky and land and fresh water and salt water, here we communed with the source. And it was a powerful, deepening experience for me personally. Many people talked about coming home transformed, coming home at peace, coming home feeling more centered and grounded than they had in a really long time. I had one woman at the beginning of the time, she said, well, I signed up because I thought it would be great to go on vacation with you guys. I didn't really get, why does a spiritual community go to Bali? I don't know, it's like going on vacation. What are we doing here? I said, well, we're going to be on spiritual pilgrimage. Well, it didn't take her more than a few days, and she said, oh, now I get it. Because every day was an opportunity to spiritually deepen and to be present with each other and with the divine. So we just want to share that with you. We'll do the chant together when Reverend Karen finishes her talk. We wanted to bless you when you came in, bring a little Bali back with us for you. We will be letting you know when our next spiritual pilgrimages are. You're not going to want to miss it.